Hi, everybody. Dr. Andrea Adams-Miller here. Thanks for joining us for Women in Crypto. It's been a really fun couple of weeks here. We had some events happening that we want to be able to cover and tell you about, including Nft Connect that was in Austin. And then we had the consensus. There was also Decentraland. However, there were so many things to do at the other two events. I never even made it to Decentraland. Too many things going on, too many wonderful things to share. And then after that, I was in Dallas for the celebrity softball game and also had a Keep Smiling event where we also talked about NFTs with fine art. And that's paintings that are worth between $15,000 and $40,000 that were also put up on display on NFTs on OpenSea. So lots of fun things to share with you. And again, we want to thank our sponsors, BeesSocialTV, Tim Judge, Rick Scherer for being our IT production manager here for us at Women in Crypto. Also, Ellen Harris and business-accelerated.com is her business, my co-host, and the Red Carpet Connection. And we always want to remind you to visit socialbees.io or BeesSocial.com. So, Bees.Social. I haven't said it for 2 weeks and forgot how to say it. So glad you can join us. And also, I'm going to have a guest on tonight. Her name is Alyson Franz. Alyson is a business optimization strategist, and we had done some traveling together. She was with me at some of the events that I attended. So I thought, what a great way for us to recap what we saw, what we heard by having her join me in that conversation. And then also we're going to be discussing some things that we've been talking about with different people as we met them, who pitched different ideas about business to us. And we saw some missings, we'll call them missings, things that could help them do even better when pitching a project so that they can be more succinct with what they do. So Rick, if you don't mind, if you bring Alyson on, I'd love to have her. Hi, Alyson.
Hey, Andrea.
How are you? So Alyson was actually here in Ohio. I think she saw this room when she was here a couple of weeks ago. We traveled all over together, so it was quite fun and it's actually weird to see you on Zoom because I'm used to being with you in person. So how has the travels been now that you've been stationary, right?
Yep, I've been back for a little over a week now. Back in Orlando.
Hot here, so I'm going to change my lighting. It's supposed to get up to 99 today, and that light was just too much heat.
It's been at least 99 every day since I've been back. It was 102 a couple of days.
Yeah, tomorrow we're looking at that again, and the family is baling hay. So for those of you who don't know, I live on a 50-acre farm, and we're only, I say we as if I'm doing anything. Now I am doing some things, I'm just not baling. I haven't baled for years, but I'm watching the grandkids while my husband and their parents do the baling, and along with my dad's helping. So they're baling about 5 acres of hay, clover, and alfalfa for the horses. So hot, busy work. So everybody's ready for a break after this. And luckily they got it before the heat really hit. Crazy around here. We should do, I never thought about it. We should do farming NFTs. A lot of people don't even know what it's like to farm, never had an experience. If they could do an experience in a metaverse of farming, Farmville did well.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought of when you said that.
Oh, awesome. Oh, Alyson, we also have a special guest today. Her name is Lori. Lori is from Wings of Wisdom. I think you met her at Nft Connect. Once she pops on, she's only here for a short window. She's going to give us a teaser about in the coming weeks, Wings of Wisdom is going to come on with a couple of the women. I'm also involved in that. So Lori, we'd love to have you.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you, ladies.
Yeah, nice to see you. So, Lori got her feet wet with, now she's doing all kinds of Zooms and open spaces and being on stage. So there you go.
It was quite the immersion of just dunking into doing spaces, then getting on stage in Austin, which That was something else. Doing the pitch night was a little difficult for me, but once I got on stage with the other amazing women, it was much better. So I was really thankful.
You were actually awesome and did a really great job. I mean, I knew that you were nervous because you had told me, but you were fine. So,
Thank you.
Alyson, you were a guest. How did Lori do? You saw her.
Yeah, I thought she was fine until she said that she was nervous. I didn't really know.
Wow. Well, thank you, ladies. You're very generous when you're saying that, but thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Alice and I are truth tellers. So if you sucked, we just would have avoided it all.
I can handle it. You know, that's how you grow. So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say our only recommendation is don't tell them that you were nervous because they never knew.
That's true. Okay. Well, good advice there. So
yeah. So will you share Wings of Wisdom and how that came to be and
sure.
A little teaser of what we're going to see?
Sure. Well, we let's see. The Bees didn't. Nft Connect had a event in Phoenix, Arizona, and myself and my husband both attended that. And, for years, I have always wanted to try to do something to try to empower, to educate, to just help single moms all around, my area. And if I could reach throughout the world. And I thought, no way am I going to be able to do that on my own, but maybe someday God will allow me to have some kind of opportunity. Well, moving forward, going to Arizona, I met multiple women that kind of had the same vision, to help other women, not necessarily single moms, but women in all walks of life. So on the way home, I thought, well, what could we do? What could we do together? Because I can't work individually with every single woman that I met, but we could do something collectively. And started putting feelers out there and decided to get a Zoom call together, invited certain people in that had talked to me in Arizona, and then just kind of organically brought in other people, other women that said, hey, I want to be a part of this. Hey, can I find out what you guys are doing? So it's turned into an amazing project of women helping women. And we're just in the beginning phases. We have 5 pillars that we work off of, which is we want to help women with these 5 pillars. 1 is education, 2 is parenting or family skills. 3 is a physical or mental issues that they might have. 4, I have to look at my notes because we changed them, spiritual or a faith aspect. And 5th is really, truly what the Bees are all about is community. Community is a huge part of what we offer in the Wings of Wisdom. Beautiful. So we haven't minted out yet. We're still working on the art aspect of it, but we're getting there. It's just, one step at a time.
Well, and of course, I know you had to take some breaks to travel to meet everybody in Austin.
Yes, that was fun. That was really fun. Got to see both of you ladies, so that was really great. And, did the pitch night and then also got up on stage the next day. So that was really great just to meet so many people that, want to help other people. I'm just all about that. Yeah.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job with it. And I'm so pleased with a couple open spaces that I've been able to jump on, even share a little bit on. They've been really fantastic. You've really brought together some amazing people. The one the other night, they had attracted a woman who's this like cybersecurity analyst, FBI, CIA, whatever. I mean, just an amazing woman she was. And then just talking about real life, regular problems, despite her vast array of cybersecurity knowledge and information. So it was quite beautiful. So what can we expect when we have you guys back on and have a couple people on?
Well, I think you can expect just to have kind of a more well-rounded view of what the Wings of Wisdom, the plan of attack is per se. Kind of our, what we really want to see, because each of us have something that we bring that really is our heart. So we, coming together when we're, 23 women come together, there's about, there's 23 in our group, but there's probably about 15 that are kind of more of the core. The other women try to hop in and out when they can, but get their perspective on what's going on and what needs to happen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, we're excited to have you on, excited for the teaser. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about Wings of Wisdom or for joining, how might they do that, Lori?
You can get onto Twitter and look up Wings of Wisdom. You can follow me on there. You can also hop in the Social Bees University. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Crypto Grandma is how you follow her.
Yes, you can follow Crypto Grandma 03, or you can follow Wings of Wisdom, whichever one. We try to manage both of those accounts. And also you can jump on Social Bees University. We do have a Wings of Wisdom chat. I believe it's a wisdom chat. And so you can jump in there and just say hi. And if you have any questions, or, if you would like to be a part of that, please feel free and, just ask away.
Sounds lovely. Well, thank you so much for being here, and
You're
we'll see
welcome.
you in a couple weeks.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks so much. So Alyson and I had the pleasure of being at the NFT Connect and here pitch night. In fact, I'd forgotten until she mentioned it. I'm like, oh yeah, I was in pitch night too. We have Cruise and Crypto to share with everyone. So it's cruiseandcrypto.com. It's not I think the site might be up, but we don't have the prices for the cabins yet. So that is going to be a crypto cruise for a couple hundred people along as a group within a whole ship in November, leaving from Port Canaveral near Orlando, where Alyson lives. So I guess Alyson's going to have us all over the night before for a party.
Pre-party at my place.
Party. We are going to have a pre-party, and Alyson will definitely be there, and hopefully be on the cruise with us as well. We'll have a bon voyage party open to the public and do a really cool night, and then the next day take off on a trip, a 5-day 4-night cruise through the Bahamas, and do some fun things, and even have a crypto introductory meeting to the people of the Bahamas who've been having some challenges the last couple of years with several different hurricanes. I think it's just hurricanes. I almost said typhoon. Alyson, do they only have hurricanes?
There have not been any typhoons that I know of.
Okay, cool. So that's in the Philippines. Okay. I need to get my weather things correct. So with the hurricanes, they've had a lot of damage and a lot of infrastructure mess up for people that are entrepreneurs. And I know they've been really excited about looking at new opportunities for them to have business and to be financially literate. So we'll be doing that as well, and have some parties on the cruise, have some specialty areas blocked off specifically for the cruising cryptos, and we'll have a lot of fun. So again, that's cruisingcrypto.com, and we'll be sharing more about that in the coming weeks. So Alyson, what was your takeaway from NFT Connect? What are some different things that you'd like to share about it?
Well, I thought it was a really great and, cozy group where we were able to sort of dive deep into a lot of things around, the NFTs, the metaverse, and what's, really gonna, where we're going in all the directions we could possibly be going in. Like, there's just some really great panels, a lot of people with really interesting perspectives on things. And I think one of the things that stood out to me was that somebody said, we're not going to necessarily jump directly into Web3, but we're just going to kind of like transition out of Web2, I think is the way he sort of explained it, almost like there's going to be almost sort of like levels in between Web 2 and 3, right? Because, right, we think about it. We think of like a platform like Coinbase. Okay, so Coinbase, right? You would think it's all decentralized, but it's actually centralized because Coinbase acts kind of like a bank, right? They're not decentralized in the way that they have their exchanges and things. They are still in Web 2, providing a Web 3 service, right? And there's, we're not completely on the blockchain, right? We're kind of like moving in that direction, and we're not all the way there yet. We're kind of like moving away from Web 2 toward Web 3, but we're not in Web 3 yet. And so there's going to be sort of this transition where it's not going, in the past, we've kind of jumped a little more like Web 1, Web 2. And Web 3 is not necessarily going to be like a quick jump like that as much, where it's going to be more just like we're just going to see less and less of Web 2 and more of Web 3, kind of, sort of. And there's going to be kind of like these stages in between that are kind of like Web 2.5 and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. One of the things I found very, let's see, I probably interesting, yes, but there's another word for me that's landing in my mouth and I'm just not getting it out there, was the controversy is also not the right word. The differences in the definition of what Web 3 is or can be. And I think part of that is I don't think that we fully capped on what is possible.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. The more I'm meeting people doing different things, it's kind of funny because, when we look back at movies and see how, the different, I never remember the name of a movie, but the movies where the people lay there and they live their whole life through their Oculus and so forth, that's possible. When I look back at, I also realized for myself how funny it is that the younger people of today that were too young when I was teaching college and teaching my kids Second Life, which was a metaverse of its own, where you literally went in and there were buildings and space and places to play, and people did ships and boats and cruises and volleyball and soccer and corporations and housing, all then, that the people of today that are younger are talking about this as if the older generations aren't aware of it at all. And I now realize that, yes, in Second Life, like I was already doing that. I was speaking on stages and doing things in the late, probably between 2008 and 2013, somewhere in there. And then I stopped teaching college. So I wasn't, because I wasn't teaching, I wasn't immersed in that world anymore. And I do know that my children played like Sims and created worlds like that. And they were building roller coaster cities and stuff like that, building parks and recreation. And so I kind of already saw that happening then. And so now to people, it's almost like people had no idea that that existed. Now I'm wondering, Second Life, when that happened, I'm pretty sure that probably just wasn't the first time anybody ever created anything that looked like a metaverse or a digital world where you could have an avatar and show up in your computer and talk and play and hang out. I remember then Second Life had this couple different aspects. Did you ever experience it at all, Alyson, yourself?
No, I didn't. I didn't know anything about it until you told me about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. It had its dark side, its corporate side, and its education side. And the dark side was apparently there were people getting on there and found a alternative dating world where they could show up and be themselves. And so at the time they called it dark at the time, where now I think it would just be considered normal. So where now we embrace pride and differences like that. In the past, where if somebody was gay or transgender and didn't want to come out publicly, they could come out in that world and be who they were and show up as they were with their avatar anonymously. And where now people have a little bit more comfort with that. Obviously, there's still restraints and there's still stigma, but it's a little safer for them to find areas, especially in bigger cities. So that's kind of how I see it. But I remember at the time they were like, "Oh, that's the dark world," like that was the bad place to be, was to be dating online or meeting people on there. So I don't know. It just kind of made me giggle. So what is your thoughts with the different definitions? What do you see as, what have you heard as possible?
In terms of the Web 2, Web 3 transition?
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people are talking about Web 3. Well, and it's interesting, right? So I think right around the end of 2021, crypto was really thriving, and everywhere you went, everything you heard, especially in the business world, was Web 3, Web 3, Web 3, Web 3, the blockchain, crypto, it's here to stay, NFTs, get used to it, woo, 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 we're all making a lot of money, right? And I think that's still being said, but not with as much enthusiasm given the market these days, particularly this weekend. So I don't think there's as much discussion going on right now about Web3 and what it will be, other than in these really intimate settings, like the Nft Connect and Consensus, which was not at all intimate because there were so many people there, but there was, it was a very concentrated population of people who were all interested in it. So I think outside of these pockets of really concentrated people who are very much, maybe I might even use the word devoted to, moving to Web3, blockchain, metaverse, crypto, NFTs, the whole gamut. When we're outside of that, I don't think there's as much of a conversation going on as there was 6 months ago.
Well, yeah, I would agree to that. So Alice and I traveled together. Was it about like 3.5 weeks, maybe 4? It was a while.
Yeah. It was a good 3 weeks, maybe a little longer.
Yeah. And we were in different masterminds, went to different events, we're with different people. And frankly, Web3 and crypto only usually came up when we brought it up. Unless we were at Nft Connect or Consensus. And then we also were at the Celsius party for permissionless. We also went to permissionless. And then we went to an after party for permissionless as well. And I apologize to the hosts that I don't remember who that was. But that's where those devoted people were that had those conversations. And I agree with you, even though those conversations still existed, they did not seem to be as deep as what I heard 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the other reasons I brought Alyson on is I had mentioned when we opened that Alice and I were noticing people that would pitch different ideas to us, since we're, I don't know, there must be something about the way Alyson and I look that people are like, I'm going to ask them how to run my business, do my business, get publicity, do whatever, even without even knowing what we did. And so, we might be sitting at a bar or sitting at a coffee table, and people would just have a nice chat with us and open up. And when Alice and I would talk, we had noticed the missing. I had called it a missing of information that it really, especially with, like, when you think of a pitch night. So we were at pitch night, we heard some great ideas and some great pitches. And then when we talked about it later, we thought, what do these businesses need for them to be able to be successful with the business after the pitch? And that's one of Alyson's specialties, is business optimization as a strategist, and to really help them as a business coach to think about those things ahead of time. So Alyson, will you share some, maybe a little highlight of some different areas, and then we'll pick a couple to go into. Ellen was able to be here. Hey, Ellen.
Hey, how are you?
Hunky dory. This is Ellen Harris, my co-host.
How are you?
Here for a couple weeks.
How are you, Alyson? Nice to meet you.
I'm very good. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, thanks. I'm teaching some courses, so that's why I'm late and haven't been around for a while. So, yeah. And speaking of that topic that you all are talking about with crypto, there is a new, how can I say it? It's a new, it's not crypto, but it is in that space, and it's called a
Okay.
token. And apparently, the macro players in the financial services industry are touting this thing like it is, goodness, wildfire. And I attended a couple of their conferences. It's very interesting. It seems to have more stability and validity than crypto. And as you know, Bitcoin fell, I think, 17% yesterday, and is still falling. And people are abandoning Bitcoin like it's a house of fire. But this token, we know about tokens because we were talking about this years ago. But that seems to be the place to put your investment. And Manward Press, and there's another entity out there, and they're introducing this, I don't know what to call it because it's not crypto and it's not a currency, but it is an investment vehicle. So, and that's right, we're not giving it, what do you call it, financial advice or investment advice. I'm just telling you what's happening on the horizon. And if you know somebody that's involved in it, you want to get a head start, that's the thing to do.
Well, thank you for sharing, Ellen. Yeah, things have dropped in crypto, because we are part of the DAO, Bees.Social DAO. We've been very supportive of crypto and reminding people that, my personal opinion is, and we had come to a decision kind of collectively as a group when we started talking about the DAO is, when you're in it, if you play a long game, you're going to have more success than if you're in a short game. And it's unfortunate. So Bitcoin is not ours, but I do think that's unfortunate that people are bailing or jumping. I honestly, I think if they just hold tight and hang tight, I think it'll just go right back up. It's when people get scared and sell and think they have to abandon what they have. That's when their house comes on fire because they're running out the door before it's set. If they just wait, it'll just go right back up.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
point. Good
I,
point. I
I,
thought we were dead, frankly. I was surprised to know that we're still on the air. So, hey,
Yeah.
I've resurrected myself.
We did take a week off. Bees.Social, and then we were off a week for NFT Connect. Bees.Social is very much going very well right now. Bees.Social has been doing a bid. Every day there is a bid for different bees and different queens and princesses and empowerment bees and all these wonderful things that are happening. So if you go to Bees.Social, it's actually a great time to get involved because things are low and Ethereum's low. So your gas is low when you're doing your investment. And over the
Yeah,
last couple of weeks, I still saw bees going at some pretty decent levels for the auction. They did release more information about the Bees.Social DAO during NFT Connect. And so we're in it for the long haul, the long game.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we invite people to play. So,
Well, that's
so
good to know because Ethereum is the next big thing, so to speak. It has inched its way up into the stratosphere or capturing attention of those who play this market. So, again, not investment advice. I'm just giving you a heads up on what I'm seeing in the marketplace so that whatever you're going to do, at least you have a clue.
thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for that. So, Allison, what were some of your thoughts? You were starting to say something there about when she was talking about Bitcoin and that dropping.
yeah. I think we have to remember that we're moving into a bear market, and all the markets are down right now, right? So you have to remember the stock market is down like crazy right now. Okay. It's not just crypto. And the real estate market is about to have a correction as well because interest rates are going up. So I think we can't, markets are going to fluctuate, right? And there's always going to be a correction. There was a huge uprise, particularly mid to end of 2021 of crypto, right? And there's so much going on in the world right now, right? A lot of there's a lot of FUD because of, the war, gas prices are high, there's inflation, interest rates are going up, and things were not great to begin with, right? The economy has really been shaky for a few years now, right? So we have to
Yeah,
take all
it's
this
really gotten
into,
bad.
yeah, and
It's
so we need to take all that into consideration. It's not necessarily indicative of where Bitcoin is going. I think Bitcoin is more a reflection of just everything that's going on in the world, and not a reflection of Bitcoin. So now, I believe more, it's going to go down more. In fact, much more.
Yeah,
I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see Bitcoin and Ethereum both tank, and that's going to be a huge, huge, huge opportunity for us enthusiasts to get in and scoop up a whole bunch, and make some very serious money, and about 24 months. So that's my take on Bitcoin being down.
I love the positive. Okay. I love the positive, but just hold on to your purse.
I mean, really, the reality is the market is cyclical, and crypto is a new market. New markets are volatile already. Then add to it everything else that's going on to the world. Add to it that every other market that's normally stable is down, and just the normal market, waxes and wanes of market corrections. So for instance, people are also talking about a correction coming to the real estate industry, right? Because typically real estate, right? So not yet. It just started because we still have low inventory. However, when we look at real estate typically has a market correction about every 7 years or so. We haven't had a market correction in about 13 years. So we are overdue. So now that the rates are going up, there is going to be a correction. We don't know what the correction is going to be because we have a lot of corporate companies buying houses. However, the average homeowner, average first homeowner is, we're going to have less of those. So the question is, how much is that going to affect the market? There is going to be a correction, be it big, small, or in the middle. Right. So there's a lot of market corrections that are going to be happening in the next 6 to 12 months. The markets are down. We're in a bear market, and there's going to be corrections happening. So I think we're just in a volatile, time overall. And we need to just grin and bear it, and be willing to take a little risk so that we can make some serious money in a couple of years.
Yeah, but while you're grinning and bearing, take a look at the management. We've got a lot of incompetence out there managing these companies, managing finance, managing everything that has to do with this. And if you look at it closely and scratch the surface and check their pedigree and their portfolio, a lot of them don't know what they're doing. And you can tell. I'm not knocking anybody. I just want them to know that we know what's going on. And that's why you have all of these corrections simultaneously across the board in the financial industry. So I would just be highly cautious and extremely careful.
For sure. And that's why, the more our stable coins and our more stable investments are the way to go, right? Because we look at some of our coins, right? So we look at what happened with Luna. Luna was really not a true stable coin, right? The way it was based on an algorithm. And so we had people messing with the algorithm, and that crashed, right? But we have something like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They solve problems. Right? They are a solution-based currency. So they have substance behind them, and they will go back up. How much back up? We don't know. We don't know where the floor is going to be in the market, and we don't know how much they will rise back up. But I'm willing to bet they will go back up quite a bit, and maybe even double or triple where they were before. So
it'll be interesting to see. And we do want to remind people that, the only one I can say that I know I guess the two, three, four, I guess I could say a couple that I know the behind the scenes on is when it comes to DAOs and cryptos and tokens is so I'm a part of Bees.Social, the socialbees.io, and I know that team. I know who they are. I spent 2 years being on nightly calls with them. I met and seen Alyson, you met our developers. You may not have realized that's who they were, but they were there as well. And that is a really, oh, thanks, Myra. I appreciate you. They, the team is, that's why we have this community, so we can bounce ideas and information off of each other as best we can. So again, just like anything else, it's your responsibility for information and to know things, and we can't promise anything will be or not be, but I can promise you that the people that are in place are people who actually care about everyone being successful and have a humanitarian heart and that goal of what we're
And
doing.
that's right. You're right about that. And you just reminded me that what I see now in this area of currency and change, you can now correlate better than you could a year ago, correlate this industry with the financial industry. Because now the financial people are looking at this very carefully and they're making projections. Of course, you still want to guard yourself, but I noticed that you can do more correlation today than you could a year ago. So keep that in mind, because wherever that market is going, it's going to take us with them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. And then the other DAOs and things that you can look at, Ellen and everybody else who's listening, because you do need to get your education and know. And the ones that the bees are connected to and friends with and supporting are the Goats DAO. So that's the Mofo Goats NFT. And we have the WeGos, which has the monsters. And then, WeGo. Wait, M2 is the monsters. I just said that wrong. I think. Wait, I might be confusing them. So we have WeGo and we have M2. And those are all people that we know and what they're doing. So we have different NFTs and other things coming out and playing. And again, that will be Wings of Wisdom too, which will be part of that as well, which is a subset of the bees. Those are projects that we took on, including Lyft and Wafu, which is anime. We have the missions, some other projects that we're doing within that too. Starwire is one of them. That's the Goats DAO. So we just want to remind you to keep your eyes open. Look at BeesSocialTV for the other programs so that you can learn more about those specialty projects. And then Alyson, I did want to have you talk specifically about the business optimization, the strategy. Ellen will enjoy this. She does a business accelerated program herself for business coaching. So what are some other things that you noticed, Alyson, in our passing with different people?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who have great ideas and have no idea how to get a business started.
Yes. Yes. And they don't have business plans and they don't have spreadsheets. They don't know where they are. I worked with a lady yesterday and I said, so tell me about your business. She said, what do you want to know? I said, well, what kind of formula do you have? What kind of business structure do you have? Business structure? What's that? I said, oh no, I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place. Anyway, you definitely got to scratch the surface because people are out here flying blind. You really want to be careful. So as soon as Andrea said that, I said, oh, you just sent me back to yesterday. Anyway, if you're going to open up a business, try to find somebody who can tell you soup to nuts, because you don't want anybody coming after you like the feds or the governmental regulation agencies that monitor small business, because you don't have to be making any money. But if you're not properly structured, you can get yourself in a bunch of trouble. So take care, really take care. Get some training. Take a business course. They're free out here now. But be careful because you don't know who's teaching it. You want somebody that's running a business that can tell you where you need to plug the holes and the gaps in your business so that you don't get in trouble. That's it for me. I'm not trying to soapbox here. I just want you to protect yourselves and look out for people who just don't know where to go and what to do.
Well, and that's one of the reasons we have Alyson here, because we know somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yes. How long have you been in business, Alyson?
14 years.
Good for you. Good for
Mhm.
you. You're a survivor. Yeah, yeah.
I am.
I've been doing mine 22 years. So, yeah, I get you. You know, once you pass a certain mark, you really realize that you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, and you can help people avoid the pitfalls because there are a lot of them out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for
Well,
sure.
well, one of the things that we learned is we met several people along the way who have already got a patent or are patent pending or are ready to have gotten like the approval from attorneys to do a patent in the different areas of crypto. But then in talking with them more, the missing is how to go from here to there. So Alyson, if you'll
Oh,
address that, what you found.
oh.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So I think, there's really this huge gap, and depending on what the idea is and where they want to go. And I'll just give sort of two really quick examples. So, one person who I ran into was someone who had a great idea and had this digital product ready to go, metaverse related. And and he's got the product all ready to go. And he says to me, he overheard me speaking during dinner about, email marketing and funnels and things of that nature. He said, I think I need your help. Or maybe I need a marketing team. I think maybe I just need a funnel, right? And that's one of the big myths these days. You just need a funnel. Everyone thinks that you can just, create a funnel and then business is just going to magically come to you. And after I went a little deeper with him, I realized a funnel would be like a huge, like it would be like throwing all your money in a dumpster and setting it on fire. It would be such a bad idea.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
seriously,
indeed.
it was that bad of an idea. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
So yes, like him with a funnel would be like a $50,000 to $100,000 mistake.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So
There's so much money being wasted, so much money being
yes,
misappropriated
because
because
people
people don't
just
know.
don't know, because they don't really understand without someone who can really strategize and coach them and knows firsthand. Like I've had funnels, I've used funnels, I know. I've done Facebook ad campaigns, I've done a whole lot of things in my 14 years, and I know a lot about what works and a lot about what doesn't work. And I also know a lot about the nuances, right? A lot of people can't figure out, why does the funnel work for them and not me? Well, I can give you
It might be in the structure.
right. Well, let me give you a list of 87 reasons why. Right? Because to me it's pretty
87.
obvious. Yeah.
Good for
So
you, Alyson. Good for you. Wow.
and then one other person that I ran into, this is another person who just has a service-based business, not particularly related to Web3 or metaverse or anything, but she's just a very big enthusiast, about the crypto and Web3 space. And she has more of a service-based business and wants to serve businesses who are in the Web3 space. And I said to her, okay, your business sounds great. So what is it, she's still working a job and she just, has a couple of clients. And I said, okay, well, would you like to, leave your job and just work with your clients? And she said, yeah. I said, well, how soon you would like to do that? She goes, well, I'd like to do it really soon. I said, well, do you have a plan how you're going to do that? No, just
No.
hopefully it happens. And I'm like,
No.
I think you might want to plan for that.
Plan? What's that? I'm not making fun, but this is what we're running up against now. You've got people that they just don't know. Sad.
Well, what happens is the people who have a business are usually, their zone of genius is not business. They get an idea that they're going to create this business or this product, and it's just going to sell like hotcakes, and they forget that there's business is a part of their business, right? And that's not their zone of genius, and they might know nothing at all about it. Right. And they just think that because they're just going to have this hot thing, everybody's going to want it, and people are just going to rush over to them for it, and they're going to go viral and have 1 million views and $1 zillion, and it's going to be game over. They're going to retire.
Okay, just for the folks that are listening, because they think I've heard that before, let them know, okay, that's not how it works. That's not how it happens. You have to plan. You have to put pencil to paper, and you've got to plan it through. And if it doesn't hit the mark that you identified on your paper, you have nothing. Don't go out there and don't put any money behind it until you are certain, or you've checked with people who have success and they're willing to talk to you, willing to tell you what they did. If you want to be a really good business owner and you want to hit millions and be viral and all of that, talk to people who have already done it. And there's a lot of people out there. Like Russell Brunson, he's ideal. Here's a kid that started with a potato gun, and he's now a multi-millionaire business owner. People like that, they're willing to talk. Just reach out to them. That's my bit of advice to people who want to start.
Yeah, we are out of time. So, Alyson, I think we're going to have to bring you back so we can break down and specifically talk about some of the areas that I think would really serve people to know, to give them some basic structure, and then they can always follow up with you on their own. And just a little funny story about Russell. When I met Russell, we were on a internet marketers cruise together. And so if anybody ever wants to go on the internet marketers cruise, you can go to I think it's it's marketerscruise.com, marketerscruise.com, and then look for my name as your referral partner. I don't get any monetary value out of that, but I do get a chance to speak on stage. And then I talk about the Keep Smiling movement and what we're doing as an impact to save lives with smiles by creating a dose of hope to be resilient. So please do that if you decide to go with us. But anyhow, I was with Russell, but I didn't. At the time, Russell didn't have his, Comma Club, or that's Grant Cardone. But anyhow, Russell didn't have all that he had. And he was just a cute kid on the ship with his friends. And I hung out with him and his friends. And I think we were in Belize, and we played on this inflatable kids island floaty thing and had a lot of fun. And I'm a jokester and talk silly and whatever. And it wasn't until later that I found out that I was with his group, and they're all Mormon. And I was with like 2 bishops and somebody else, elders. And it was really funny. So I got to learn a lot about the Mormon faith by being with them. And that was before he wrote his first book, because he was talking about his book idea during some of our masterminds. So quite funny. Yeah. So those are some of the things that you'll experience when you come on the cruise in crypto. So when you come on the crypto cruise, we'll be talking about that. But we are out of time. We went 4 minutes over. So I'm Dr. Andrea Adams Miller, Ellen Harris, business-accelerated.com, AlysonFranz.com to learn more about her. And I'm Dr. Andrea Adams Miller, www.theredcarpetconnection.com, and the Keep Smiling Movement.org. And then we want to again thank Rick Scherer for taking care of us and being here for us every week. We so much appreciate you. And to Tim Judge for BeesSocialTV for having this platform for us. And next week, the 27th, I think it is, we are going to have Allison Kroom. She used to run, thank you, Crypto Grandma. We used to have, she used to do Social Wow, and she might still be, but they're now doing a business crypto conference, and we'll be talking about that. So here I've known her for years indirectly, and we've photographed her for Keep Smiling, and I ran into her at Permissionless, and then we were both at Consensus, and now she's at Nft NYC with some of the other social bees that are there. So we'll be getting some reports back from everybody and find out what's happening in New York City next Monday. So we'll see you then. Thank you, Alyson, for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate you. Cool.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you, Alyson.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Great to meet you.
Good to meet you too.